Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. Big up your damn selves in the building. Make sure you smash up the likes and subscribe every single damn time. There's been a lot of confusion, a lot of confliction, and a lot of conviction in the comments, in the review where the rivals have been ramping. You guys have been raging, Chelsea fans. It's been a rough ride the last couple of days. A lot of statements have gone out. And for me personally, I just want to be crystal clear. I want to clarify. I want to come in now without the emotion of the review and talk about what Poch needs to stop doing. Like absolutely now, going into Brighton, West Ham, stop doing these things. Because the team is missing chances. I've spoken about that. The team and the players do need to take responsibility. I've spoken about that. What Sterling and Jackson did in that moment, mainly Sterling, 2v1 on that keeper, absolutely unacceptable. We've seen the screenshots. Shocking, absolutely diabolical. But you can put yourself in a position where you're doing the most you can, to the point where now you can do no more. And that starts with balancing out this team. In the red positions, I've gone with red flags, right? So Colwell, it's not down to the player's performance, it's just how they're being used. For Pochettino, that's a red flag. Silva, red flag. Gallagher, red flag. Enzo, red flag. For me, those are the two most important things we need to change right now. How Jackson finishes, what can we do? That's the only option. How Sterling behaves in the final third when his head is down and he's not looking awareness-wise, again, that's down to him. But in terms of what Pochettino needs to do, for me personally, to just balance out this team and almost give himself more wiggle room as the months go on, get a left-back playing left-back now. We've seen it with Udogie. We've seen it with Robertson at Liverpool. Play a left back. We've seen it with other teams. Just play a left back. I understand the lack of height in the team, but we're conceding goals anyway. Please, just give Mudryk some support. Give him some overlapping runs when he cuts inside. Give him some underlapping runs when he wants that reverse pass. Give him another option, another decoy, so when he's taking on a man, it's easier for him. Support. Matson, you have Chilwell. Cucurella is not really going to do that going forward. For me, Matson is my choice. I know there's politics involved because, of course, his contract is not signed. But for me, Matson would be someone that I want to see given a go in that position. How he will defend aerially, especially on the back post, that would be a concern. But again, on the ball, smooth on the ball. We saw it in pre-season. Good link-up player. Just a good footballer. For me, play him. It's time to play him now. Against Brighton, I've seen Cucurella could get minutes even though he's really clearly not in the plans in terms of the board and he could be sold in January. Just play Matson. Silva, it's time for him to hit the bench, right? Love and guidance, very appreciative. What a signing. But he's making too many individual mistakes. He's given the ball away in dangerous positions. We're being caught. Happened against West Ham. For Nottingham Forest, he was nutmegged after Caicedo gave it away. And then on top of that now, in the last game, again, giving it away. Too many individual errors. He is going to start regressing. It's like Ivanovic against Swansea. He is going to have a decline, probably looking like this season. Move him out of the team. Put Colwell back in his natural position so he can play those passes. I thought Colwell had a good game against Villa. 3 out of 7 long balls. Silva was good with his long passing as well. But Colwell, every single duel, 3 out of 3 for ground duels, 3 out of 3 for aerial duels. Just play him at centre-back. Play him and Decisive next to each other. If they concede, do you know what? Fair enough. But at least now we have a team where we're balanced again and we can go from there. We need to score goals. We need to go for goals. Be attack-minded. Go hard or go home. Literally. Stick or twist. We need goals. We have failed to score against Forest, Bournemouth, and now Aston Villa. Get attacking-minded players on this pitch, which means a left-back and the centre-back playing in his position, breaking lines, playing the ball over the top. And the last one, Enzo and Gallagher. This one is just ridiculous to me, right? Enzo at Benfica was a progressive passer, long ball, long passer specialist. Deep line playmaker next to Florentino Luis, picks up the ball, controls the game, tempo, dictator, sprays left, right, centre for runners. Why is he the runner in this team? Why is he playing in a position where I'm seeing him making runs down the left, down to the corner flag, come back in, cut inside, link up? Why are runners passing to playmakers, to ballers? It doesn't make any sense. Play Enzo in the deep part of midfield and next to Caicedo, please. Get him the most touches. I don't want to see Gallagher having more touches than Enzo. And the second reason why I don't like this is because, first of all, Gallagher's a probably a better box crasher, a better presser next to Jackson. Jackson drops into the false 9, he can make the runs in behind. So Enzo's not going to do that as much. We've seen Enzo actually, the slight issue with Enzo that I've found in his game is when we've seen him in a Chelsea shirt, when he's got into goal scoring positions, he's not a goal scoring midfielder. He's not been clinical. He might have done it at River Plate, but he hasn't really shown it here. And the next thing, I don't even want to see Gallagher in this team. The fact that Gallagher wears the armband, I think, is a damning indictment of where we are, right? He's not even good enough, in my opinion, as I've said all the time, to start for this team, let alone wear the armband. I think it's insane. Someone that their own game they need to make sure is sorted and secured. Why are they now taking responsibility on their arm to lead others? Oh, there is no leadership. That's the problem in this team. So get Enzo back to the hub. Get him on the ball as much as possible, dictating, picking up the ball where McAllister plays for Liverpool. You know, where you're seeing the likes of even Maddison dropping deep for Tottenham. Get him on the ball, spraying it, finding Sterling early 1v1 with the winger, finding Mudryk early 1v1 with the winger, finding players. Let him, he's the best on the ball. It's simple. I don't want to see him making runs everywhere. I want him on the ball. I want him on the ball. And the reason why is because I want Palmer playing in that position. I want Palmer in the 10 now. When he came on in the last game, he looked good. He made key passes. He set up Chilwell for a chance. Let's get Palmer in this team. That's the final thing I beg of you. Get Palmer in this team. Get him in the half spaces. And the beautiful thing about Palmer is no matter if he's in the left half space or the right half space, he is interchangeable with the wingers because he's played at right wing for Man City. He's played at left wing for Man City. So instead of Enzo being in wide areas and being confused, yeah, when he interchanges with the wingers, when he can, because really this is a replication of the pass map, right, from the graphic. Very lopsided down the right. Wherever Enzo is, that's where most of the traffic goes, which makes us lopsided. You put Enzo in the middle, then there's balance. Now he can see all sides of the pitch, hopefully, right? That's the plan. But when you've got the likes of Palmer and then Mudryk comes inside, Palmer can double up and go on the outside and cross. Palmer can go on the outside of Sterling and cut in on his right while Sterling is box crashing, which is what we saw in so many games earlier on. Well, a couple of weeks ago, Sterling was box crashing because he's actually got better box movement than Jackson, which is crazy, right? It's embarrassing, but you know, this is what we've got to hang our hat on. Unfortunately, he's got to be coached. Sterling, for the cutbacks, he's always been available to shoot and take those shots. So when Sterling comes inside, Palmer's on the right, and then you've got balance. Now Palmer's on the right hand side, cutting and taking shots. Sterling's making runs outside, giving space to cut in or for a pass in behind. And then it's down to decision making. Then it's down to finishing. But let's get back to doing the basics in terms of the balance of the team. Why is Gallagher even playing in a deep role, having most touches off the centre back? Why? He's a runner. He's energy. So let him go make these runs into the box. Let him crash. Let him press. Let him link up with Jackson if he can in the half space, even though I don't think he'll be able to do it competently. It's better than him being in here. And in terms of the solution for the game against Brighton, because we're talking about who's going to play right back. Last season at the Emirates, Caicedo played there for De Zerbi. He inverted. If you want to do that, then potentially you're going to see, unfortunately, probably Colwell at left back again, and then Silva and Decisi, and then it becomes a back three. If you're going to play maybe Decisi on the right back position, which he's played for Monaco, and then you've got, again, Silva and Colwell at centre back, and then you've got a left back. So, yeah, with that Gusto situation, suspension, I'm probably going to keep seeing Silva in this team. I highly doubt we're going to drop Silva and not have Gusto available, so prepare yourselves for that. But if we're not going to change the centre-backs, which I think is actually secondary to this problem, I think Enzo and Gallagher swapping is the main thing that needs to happen. Colwell is still a thing for me, but if I had to change one thing right now, it would be Enzo deeper and get Palmer in the 10. I'd have Colwell at left back playing passes around the corner if he can. If I had to pick, that's what I'm picking. And then we get to the board. I mean, listen, the only thing I ask of you is please stop buying 18, 17, 16-year-olds. Full focus now needs to be on the first team. Your intentions, I think, are good in terms of you want to be ambitious, you want to do everything at once. Strasbourg, Sporting Lisbon, you're trying to purchase. Focus on Chelsea. Makalele's left. Christopher Vell left. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Focus on the first team. The first team is absolutely dead. It's down on its knees. It's in the worst position we've ever been. Focus on that team now. Don't be putting any more allocations and funds, please, to fucking Strasbourg and to this kid and to that kid, because there's always going to be more young talents. If you don't get this one, there'll be another one next year and the year after that and the year after that. We should be taking care of what's at home before we take care of what's outside. Make sure your bed is spread. Make sure your cushions are fluffed and puffed. Make sure that your kitchen worktops are clean. Make sure that the food is cooked. Make sure that the fridge is full. Make sure that your house is in order before you go outside and try and change the world. One step at a time. You're trying to buy Sporting Lisbon. You're trying to sign these players for Strasbourg. Oh, it's different budgets. Focus on what is priority. Because if Chelsea flop, all of these side projects don't mean nothing. And that's before I even get into the fact that Andre Santos so far is not even making the squad. So you don't even have the resources to sign more players because you don't have full control of the clubs yet. The multi-club model is not in session. You don't have 6-7 clubs like Man City. Take your time. You guys are locked in to a long-term 10-year, what was it, 2032 minimum until that point you can't sell under the rules given by Roman. You have time to do multi-club model. Take time with it. Focus on the first team. The first team is dead in terms of performance right now. In terms of, not even performance, in terms of results especially. Performance is actually, I wish they were worse. I actually wish the performances were worse because then I'd be able to piece together this a lot easier. But right now the performances are actually decent and the results are horrendous. Focus. Pochettino, please. I'm not a manager, I ain't a coach, I'm just a fan, but this just makes sense to me, bro. Maybe I'm wrong. You let me know in the comments. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to see balance again. Get a 10 in Palmer behind Jackson. That's what he had in pre-season. He had a 10. He had Nkuku, he had Carney. Then we can hopefully see Jackson focus on getting in the box and just being in the box. Work on his box movement in training. Work on his finishing. Work on his heading. But let him focus on what's going on in there. I love all the dropping deep, linking up. If we had Nkuku to run in behind and be the striker when he's dropped deeper and interchange, then fair. But Palmer's, he's not a striker. So just let Jackson focus on the striking. Get a 10 in there. Enzo Caicedo, balance, build up, 4. You got 4 players there to do the build up, 2 centre backs, 2 midfielders, 2 full backs, crossing, overlapping, underlapping, cut backs, 2 wingers, out wide. Let's just do the simple things because whatever we're doing is not working. And in terms of the height, I hear it, lack of height, but listen, I'll be damned. If we concede on a set piece, then I'll take responsibility in it. But at the end of the day, we ain't winning anyway, so we may as well go back to the basics. Pochettino and the board and the team and the individuals, as I've said, take responsibility. All 3 are culpable, and that includes Winstanley and Stewart. If this was your idea to go and get all these young players, because it wasn't so long ago, Todd Boy wanted Ronaldo at 37 years of age. I don't know who's calling the shots, but everybody has to take responsibility because this is a madness. It's an absolute madness that we're in this position. But we've got 2 Premier League games before it gets peak. In those 2 Premier League games, 6 points plus progress against Brighton. And that's not even to get anybody excited or cheerful. That's just to buy yourself time. Just to keep people away with the pitchforks and the fire and the brimstone. Okay? That's just to pause the situation. Not to even play, just to pause. Basics. Can we please do the basics? And if this doesn't work, well, in the recruitment team, we talk. Because these are your players. Again, it's going to take time. We're going to lose games. But we have to win more games than we're winning. This is unacceptable. This is actually insane. Guys, you let me know what you think of the tactics board. You let me know what you think of my ideas. I'm just spitballing here with the community. Therapy in session because I didn't get to ask you guys questions on the review like I usually do. And I will be doing. But my head was so hot. And yeah, I was just furious. I'm looking at the other top teams. And I'm looking at, yes, we have injuries. We don't need to talk about that. But I'm looking at the other, especially Tottenham, right? I'm looking at other teams and they're just playing players in their position. They're just playing players in their position and they're getting bodies forward and they're supporting those attackers with overlaps and underlaps. And that's it. You know, sometimes football don't have to be complicated. I think sometimes we might overcomplicate it. I'm not telling you that there isn't more to it than this because there is. I'm just saying that we haven't tried this. And this looks decent. It looks like it makes sense. You know, it's basic, but it makes sense. And if this can't, like I said, if this don't work, I'm a loss. But as we keep misprofiling and keep playing, if I keep seeing Enzo make off the ball runs, and I keep seeing Gallagher in the middle dictating, and I see Colwell, yes, you know, what can I say? What can I say? Guys, smash up the likes. Make sure you subscribe every single damn time. And I'll see you guys very soon. In a bit, people. Peace.